looking at the fact that we weren't really favourites going into the event, and although we did get beaten by Netherlands, are you really that disappointed by how we crashed out? Or is it okay because we should put my anyway? Or was there hope?
In the end, it is bitterly disappointing because pulled an Arsenal, man. Like
the old Arsenal.
You had 2 games, you win one of them, you're into the semis, and you saw the start against Pakistan where we had them like 40 something for 4, and then let them come back and they smash it all over the place, and we chasing, and Temba gives us a good score. He don't know how, like scratched around for that, but then managed to put the numbers on the board where it gives us 30 plus at almost 200 strike rate. But then the rest of the team doesn't capitalize on that. And then, okay, that's Pakistan. Pakistan is one of the favorites, you know, but also this is a Pakistan who had not been at their best.
Had lost to Zimbabwe.
This particular tournament and in the games of late. So then when you go up against Netherlands, you're still like, okay, we got this, you know. Turns out that we don't.
Oh.
But the thing is, Chuck, because I was thinking about this, like, it is choking because of how we finished. But in terms of thinking about the fact that we weren't favorites coming into this, but who really is favorites in T20? As I said, T20 is like a lottery. And the thing about then the Proteas is they were unlucky against Zimbabwe because of the weather. Because should have won that game, would have won that game, and the net run rate would have been phenomenal, you know? And then when you look at what happened in this tournament, you have Ireland who have beaten England. You have Zimbabwe who have beaten Pakistan. And when Netherlands beat South Africa, that's not an anomaly. That's something that has happened. West Indies are not in this tournament. They didn't even make it to like to the stage. So it is not a matter of how could you lose against Netherlands, because we've seen like bigger teams, maybe more traditional favorites than what we were coming into this one, lose as well against the less fancied opponents. The thing is with them is they didn't have a draw against Zimbabwe. The thing with them as well is when those losses came, where for us it came at the last hurdle, and as I'm saying, off of another loss, but it is we did beat India. You know, they were favorites against us. So most of these teams have lost against a bigger team and then a smaller team. Australia been knocked out of this tournament playing at home. So it's not a man, everybody showed up except for South Africa. You know, it is the fact that we were almost there, or we were supposed to be there, based on the fact that we did have those results then against Bangladesh, against then and India. But ultimately, we didn't have them in the games against Pakistan and against Netherlands. And the other thing, it is very hard to win, because what South Africa was supposed to do is we're supposed to win about 6 games in a row to win the tournament. Very hard to do in T20. We tried to do that in the last World Cup, where we lost the first game, we won the next 4, but then didn't make it over because of net run rate. It's a hard thing to do. So I am disappointed, but I'm not as quick to throw around that choking line on this particular, after this particular result, as I'm saying, because we didn't do something that we did not see from other teams in this tournament. And again, there's that result against Zimbabwe, which was beyond our control.
Rain was a factor twice, as you say, and you don't get maximum points when the game gets rained out, number one. Number two, it rained again against Pakistan, which adjusted the total and the balls that were required, because as much as, yes, you do adjust it to somewhat be comparable to what was the original number of balls that were remaining in the score, when you do have more balls, you get to get your eye in. Stubbs and Klaus had to swing the bat from the goal.
From the get-go, yeah.
You know, and which didn't favour us. But I mean, it doesn't cut out our minds that we should have gotten our strong team very early on, get a rhythm and go, because right now, and I mean, okay,
Reasons didn't play. Like
the entire tournament.
We have a guy who went for, what, 4.5 million in the recent
T20 auction.
Auction. And we're like, we're not going to play you because we want to persist with our captain. Sure, Temba was one of the big scorers in that game against Netherlands, but 20 of 20, you know, and he was not the guy who was gonna get us there. So, I mean, that selection, like, that is disappointing.
Yeah, and I mean, you see things like that, Oguti, when a team would play against us, if they win the toss, I'm sure they're itching to bat first. we would want to bowl first so that we've got a manageable total to chase. Because I don't think if we bat first, we are confident enough to post a big enough total. And with T20, you're saying it's a lottery that if we have to chase 140, 150, if we get our eye in, we can play. But if we have to swing the bat from the get-go, man, it was pressure, and the pressure told. And unfortunately against Netherlands, and for me, that is the disappointing part. And I know, Uti, with what you've outlaid, it happened to everyone. But for me, it was a foregone conclusion. As I was saying to you, by how much? I just could not believe that. And so that's disappointing, man, because we had players, as you're saying, who had to play, players who had to get their eye in, players who had to then blossom and get a good campaign in the World Cup. We never quite did that. And
you're looking for someone, just one person to put their hand up, because we had that record partnership, like something, you know, like we had that record partnership, as I'm saying, between Quinton de Kock and Rousseau, and great, you know. Now, can one of you do that? Even if not together, one of you do that in one of these games, because de Kock faded badly in the tournament, you know, and at the time where we needed Rousseau as well, who had scored back-to-back hundreds, a rare occasion in T20. Also then didn't show up. Miller, who scored 100 in India, against India. In the moment where they did get, he and Markram got us over the line in the one match. Again, just one of you guys, you know, give us that kind of performance. And it wasn't quite there. And also, I mean, when you do have then a Parnell coming in, you can't really rely on him to get us over the line. Maharaj, we know he's decent with the bat, but like in that kind of situation, you need your top line batsman to come through for you. So it's disappointing that in the moment where we needed someone to put their hand up, what the pressure did, it made those pipes burst.